Before I get into this, I want you guys to pause this video and type in the comments what you think. Do lyrics matter in rap music? It could be a yes or a no answer. You could explain why. You really don't have to, but I appreciate your insights. Okay, let's get into it. I know this may piss some people off, but I do drop heavy counterpoints to it. In an interview with Angie Martinez, a rather notorious artist named 6ix9ine said that he's not serious in his lyrics. He's not serious about his craft. He just goes to the studio with his the lyrics don't really make sense, they don't really need to make sense, and it's a hit. He put no effort into it. Does it matter? Do lyrics matter? So because of marketing, innovation, experimentation, and all this other shit, there are more artists doing different things than ever. Like hip-hop is in a very diverse state right now. It's not like it used to be, where it was heavily focused on lyricism, skill, and social awareness. Generally speaking, it's really branched out. And while there are certainly artists still talking about those things, there are also plenty of artists talking about material wealth, the glorification of using depressant drugs, and they're doing it in different ways, different lights, over a wider collection of styles. Like now we have all these takes on trap with a wider range of BPM. Now there's more crossover with all sorts of genres, from rock to EDM and pop and dancehall and metal, and my point is that the lyrics will coincide with it, and everybody has their own lane. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like if you ask me what the meaning of life is, I would tell you similar. It's up to you. You get to create it for yourself. Do lyrics matter in rap music? That's up to you. Some artists like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Joey Badass, and Chance the Rapper, these guys value their lyrics heavily. They care about lyricism. And if any of you are curious to find out like how big of a deal it is, whether I care about my lyrics, how much do I need to care? I think it's more important to look at yourself. Maybe that's just me. Because it's not about what the other artists want, it's about what you want. Especially in the long term if you want to cause this ripple effect. If you're trying to be more artistic and critically successful, maybe focus on the more lyrical side of things. That's what many of those artists tend to do. If you want to be more on the commercial success, try going on the less lyrical side of things. There may be a handful of artists who kind of balance it out for sure. But again, that kind of just reinforces the point that rap is in a very diverse state. And again, I think that's a good thing, but maybe that's just me. Like there are lots of artists who don't give a fuck about their lyrics, but I'm not worried about them. I know success leaves clues, so maybe here and there I'll check out a song and study their flows. Like it can't be the lyrics people like so much about it if they're not that good. It's gotta be the beat, the way he attacks it, the flows, the repetition, the hooks, the style. There's gotta be something you can learn from it. So I'm always looking at that and the sound. Like all the artists above that I mentioned have their own signature sound. Each one of them, and all well-established artists kind of do, because that's part of their brands. You are your sound. Your music, your creation is an extension of you. That's why it's such a big deal when you look at it and it's done either in awe, disdain, or neutrality. Like, this is fucking dope, I'm fucking so glad I made it, and you feel great about yourself. Or you feel bummed out because you spent all this time on something and it didn't end up as awesome as you thought it would be. Or you're like, but you keep doing it anyway, and you keep going because you love it that much. So I think sound matters most, because I understand that rap, I would argue, is literally the most lyrically focused genre of music there is. Like, no genre cares as much about its lyrics as rap, but music in general is most often an organization of sound itself, and lyrics are not sound. They are fucking words. Does that mean they're not music? I'm not really sure. Maybe that's up to you, but I would argue that whether lyrics matter also is. And I think that's what matters. For me, I've had people tell me that their kids are singing my songs. I'm sure other artists hear things like this from parents. Meanwhile, I use words like guru and serotonin in my hooks. And I think it's because it's like always about the vibe, especially nowadays. I often hear people complaining more about lyrics than sound. I rarely hear people complaining about sound but not lyrics, especially when it comes to well-established artists. Anybody who cares more about sound is less likely to give a shit if the lyrics are good or not. Anyone who cares more about lyrics is less likely to complain, in my experience, if the sound sucks. So I think that kind of tips the scale and says, look, sound matters and lyrics are only as important as you want them to be. I think it's best to take a more balanced approach to it. Like, how amazing can you make your lyrics and sound? How artistic and accessible can you get with it? How mentally and emotionally, energetically engaging can it be? How can it inform and entertain the listener? How can I get them thinking and feeling? I always valued lyrics more because before I was into rap, pop, EDM, and all this other shit, I don't know how many people know this about me, I was a total metalhead. And some metal bands have the fucking craziest, most well-read lyrics, especially progressive ones, like Symphony X, Dream Theater, Tool, and Opeth, for example. So I always, almost inherently, cared more about lyrics. But now I'm more like 51% on the sound side because I'm trying to equalize that and balance it out. You could use a fucking 14-syllable word, and people could fuck with it because of the vibe and the sound. So that's how I feel about lyrics. What perspectives am I missing? What did I leave out? Please let me know in the comments below. If anybody's curious about the music in this video, I made the beat and it can be found in my beat store at samuel.earth/beats or samuel.world. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description to all my social media. Make sure to leave a like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video. That would mean the world to me. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.